Good morning and happy Monday. Happy first day of February. Happy Black History Month. Um, so my goal was to begin doing video logs, vlogs, as part of my Captivate to Motivate podcasts, um, webcast, simulcast type of endeavor. And my plan was to begin that today. And I want to excuse myself ahead of time for my appearance, um, my demeanor that may be coming across in this particular video, as well as if I become emotional while I am sharing. Because while this is a step in my whole increasing my confidence with public speaking or being seen in certain environments and aspects, this is also going to be a very emotional video log. So it's interesting that this is going to be my first. So like I said, my intent was to begin with this piece of my endeavors today. And usually when something hurtful or disappointing happens, I allow it to disrupt me and interfere with certain goals or intentions that I have set for myself. And that has shown up in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different spaces. Whether it's, me putting my t-shirt business on hold when I was dealing with infertility and trying to conceive my daughter. Or it's putting school to the side because there's so much, stress and whatnot around me. And then certain things get pushed off or delayed. I am purposefully and intentionally using this as a way of pushing past that. So, yesterday morning, I found out that my grandmother passed away. She was 87 years old, born 9/3/1933. And over the course of, for a long time, for a number of years, she's had health complications, whether it be contributed to her weight or to diabetes or just a whole host of different health ailments. But definitely in the last, I would say, year and some change, her health has been declining a little bit more. So, people who know me closely know that I have and have had a very strained and awkward relationship with certain family members. My grandmother is included in that. I know what the root of that is, and I'm not going to necessarily speak heavily on that in this particular video, out of respect. And also, those feelings are my feelings. They may not be things that are understood or accepted by others. But the fact does remain that I've had a very strange relationship with certain family members for a very long time. At least about 11 years. Maybe a little bit before that, but at least for the last 11, 12 years. So learning of my grandmother's passing away um, put me in a really weird emotional space. I love my grandma so much. Um, Probably more than I expressed to her while she was here. And that's going to be something that I am going to have to work through or deal with. Um, yeah. So um, I do think that this is the first time, as it relates to my father's side of my family. This is the first time that I am allowing myself um, the space and time to go through my grieving. Um, because those 11, 12 years ago, that was when my father passed away. And then subsequently, my grandfather and my uncle, all within the same year. And especially with my dad and my grandfather, um, I feel that I feel that my grieving was put on hold or on pause because people around me kept telling me that I need to be strong, um, that I need to be strong for my mom, that I need to be strong for my grandmother, and that I need to be strong for my aunt. Um, but I have no way of knowing if they were told that they need to be strong for me, or, and I wasn't given the messages of, you know, take the time and take the space that I needed for myself, even though I had endured a loss as well. So I feel that um, compounded the difficulty with my grieving of those losses. However, with this recent grieving or this recent loss, um, I am dictating and defining the way in which that I'm going to go through that, um, giving extra care and extra attention to myself. So yeah, so yesterday I was pretty much in the bed all day. Um, when my mom told me yesterday morning, um, I I cried a little bit. Um, I then tried to gather myself to call my aunt because she was the one who had called to let us know, but it was really early in the morning, so we were all still asleep when she had called and texted to let us know. So when I called her, understandably, she wasn't in a good space to talk or to receive anything. So that conversation was really short. So I then called someone who seemingly magically um, shows up for me. And that's my very close friend, Shamel Ross. Shamel is also the person who physically showed up for me when my dad passed away. Um, when my dad passed, it was almost like I went mute with everyone um, because I couldn't place my feelings about his passing. Um, those were very complicated as well. And you know what? I'm going to stop wiping my face. Well, after this one. So I called her, and, it was probably early for her because she didn't answer at first. But when she called me back and I told her what happened, I fully released every tear that I feel I could have possibly mustered in that space. Because she has that way about her. And I am so thankful to have her in my life. But I feel that I shared certain things with her that I haven't shared with other people because she's pretty much been on this path with me as it relates to my family members for a very long time. Um, so I'm very thankful that I was able to speak with her for the amount of time that I was and pretty much let her be my diary in that moment, where I could be honest with my feelings and where I was in that space. There was a couple of suggestions that she made to me that I followed through with. One was um, journaling my thoughts and feelings onto paper. I've been the kind of person that's pretty hit and miss when it comes to journaling, even though I promote that with my clients all the time, every day. But again, that's one of the things that if I'm not in the greatest space, it gets pushed to the side. When that's one of the things that I, I absolutely need to do. So I didn't journal right then because I felt that I needed to still kind of be still and quiet and sit in my space and feel my feelings. But she also suggested that I reach out to my aunt because I had told her that I wanted to be able to be there for my aunt in her space of loss. My grandmother is her mother. And me and my aunt don't have the best relationship at all. However, I could empathize with even a piece of how she might feel, even though I don't understand the full magnitude of it and won't until that point in life comes for me. But I reached out to her and via text because like I said, I could tell in the previous conversation that she wasn't in a space to talk, and just kind of left it there. And if you see me looking off to the side, it's that I'm looking at the picture of my grandma with my daughter. This picture was taken October 11th of this year. That was the first and only time that my grandmother got to see my daughter. COVID has been a major contributor to, not being able to travel, especially with her, as much as we would like. But I would be lying if I said that that was the only reason. I allowed a lot of my stuff to get in the way. And that's something that I'm just going to have to deal with and work through. So the purpose like I said, the purpose of this video and, any kind of self-reflective videos that I do make is to, one, be transparent, because I have found that through different posts that I've made on social media, that sometimes me sharing my story or sharing certain struggles has helped someone else. There's a lot of times in my life where I felt like I was alone and didn't have somebody to talk to because I didn't think anybody else had really been through certain situations that I was dealing with. I know this is not one of them. I know there's a lot of people who have kind of complicated type grief, issues with grief and loss, strained relationships, guilt, things of that nature. I know there's a lot of people that have that. And mine is not so special or different, but it's mine. And so I'm going to do my best that as I am working through and as I have overcome certain things, I'm going to be very intentional in sharing that with other people to at least aid them in their growth. That was the whole purpose of me, developing the Captivate to Motivate podcast, webcast, simulcast endeavor, creating creative content, being more open and honest about certain things as they relate to me. And I would be, I guess, remiss if I avoided doing my planned first video because of this loss, even though I think it would have been understandable if I didn't. Also, nobody knew that I was planning to, do my first video today. So, I didn't really have anybody on my back trying to make sure that I got it done. But I think that this has been long enough, and I think that emotionally, this is probably as much as I have on this topic for right now. So, thank you for listening. Be sure to follow Captivate to Motivate on Instagram, Facebook. Also, I am on YouTube, so that's where you'll find the video content. I'm also on Spotify, Breaker, a whole host of podcasts, podcast hosts, pretty much except for Apple Music. I'm not on Apple Music right this second, but I will be. So please follow me, please share, and this is my first step in opening my book that is me. So I wouldn't be sharing this if I wasn't comfortable with it being shared. So please feel free to share. Please follow on social media platforms so that I can grow my audience base and hopefully help other people start the path of working through their difficult points in life. Thank you all, and have a great rest of the day.